take a look at these suits that they have at the hospital right now, they are put on in layers. You can see in the back that they're tied on. This leads to more opportunities for contamination. The hospital has on order suits like this one that are in one piece and lead to less chances for contamination. The force of the floods we had last week actually caused the basement wall to collapse, and one man was inside when it happened. Sometimes you talk and you just feel like nobody is hearing what you are saying. That's how one source felt. So they called 7 Action News and asked us to help expose terrible working conditions here at the old Detroit Police headquarters on Beaubien. We went inside to get evidence of those horrible conditions, and what happened next? Well, I guess you can say the concerns, they've been heard.
Dangerous in here. Standing in here.
Is it dangerous for you guys too, though?
Come on, ma'am. Come on, please leave the location.
When kicked out, I was only in the public area of the old Detroit Police headquarters, taking pictures of the elevators in the lobby, the ceiling next to the desk where officers greeted the public, the restroom anyone used to be able to use. It's not working now. Though kicked out, I didn't stop working. I went to police administrators at the nice, clean, new public safety headquarters. None in charge work in the old building. What do you want to say to the officers who say they're being forced to work in unsafe conditions?
I haven't heard that complaint.
And though I explained that water was dripping through the lights, the building smelled like mold, and there were no working toilets, this was the plan.
The next 2 months, we should be totally vacated out of that building.
The emergency manager's office told me police administrators were in charge. I called the mayor, even though Mayor Michael Duggan doesn't have power over this due to the emergency manager. Calls were made and suddenly there was action. Gary Brown, a former deputy police chief, says inspectors went in the building. He says he would have called for this sooner if he knew what was going on.
Maybe they did tell someone, it just didn't get to my level, but once it did, we dealt with the issue.
And that solution is that this building is closed while workers work to make it safe, not for workers to return here. This building is going to be permanently closed, but for workers to get in and get evidence and property that is stored in this building that will need to be carefully transported to a new location so that no cases are compromised. The workers no longer having to work in those deplorable conditions. Reporting live in Detroit, Kim Russell. 2 teens were arrested this morning at their homes. They live near here where it happened. They are the first arrested after an attack that could shake your faith in humanity. An enraged crowd attacked a man who was all by himself. But tonight, the story that you haven't heard until now, the story of a woman who took on that crowd. When Deborah Hughes heard a crash on Meringue, she ran towards the scene. The retired nurse thought someone might need her help.
And the little boy was laying there, and he said his head was hurt, and I kept trying to say things to him to cheer him up. I saw the man get out of his truck. I saw him walk down, and he said, "Oh, my God, did I do this? Is he all right?"
That man was 54-year-old Steve Utash. Deborah says as she cared for the little boy who had minor injuries, an angry crowd confronted the Clinton Township man.
And then they just, got him and started beating him and stomping him and kicking him, and it wasn't right. When I got over there, I told him, don't nobody hit him no more. Don't nobody hit him anymore, but I had my gun in my pocket. I was ready to do some damage myself if I had to. So somebody had to stand up. It was about maybe 100 people out here.
Were you the only one who stood up and said
I'm the
stop?
only one stop. I told him, don't kick him no more, don't hit him no more, don't do nothing. Get back. And I got on the ground with him, and I got down there with him, and I started tending to his wound, and I told him, do not touch him again.
The community has responded with prayers and donations for Steve Utash's medical care. He doesn't have insurance. His daughters say he remains in a medically induced coma.
Yeah, I just want to tell him that I love him and hear him say it back.
It's like every day we walk in the hospital, we're like, today's the day, just wake up, talk to me. Like, please recognize me, know who we are, please, and yeah.
Today, Mandy Emmerich and Felicia Utash learned that Detroit police arrested 2 of the 10 to 12 people who attacked their dad, a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old. The news brings them some hope for justice.
I didn't think they were going to catch anybody, so I'm really happy, and now I have hope.
In the meantime, they say they can't wait to thank the brave nurse, the one voice in a crowd who gave their dad a chance at survival.
You might have saved his life.
I hope so.
And today, Deborah isn't the only voice speaking out for Mr. Utash. Right now, Detroit 300 has volunteers out here on the streets. They are going door to door, and they are asking people to give tips so that everyone responsible can be brought to justice. And if you can't go out and knock at doors trying to find clues, there is a way you can help. There is a fund set up for medical bills. He does not have medical insurance. We have a link to that at our website, wxyz.com. Reporting live in Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.